We are now recording everybody, so just keep in mind that any comments that you make will be on the record for those in the Afrisnet network. So today we're here to discuss the subcommittee on the research symposium that Afrisnet is hoping to put together. This symposium is going to be the first of its kind for Afrisnet. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the Afrisnet student president, Isaiah, to go ahead and introduce himself and lead us in the discussion. And basically what Isaiah is going to do is he's just going to walk us through what the goals of this organization are and the place of this research symposium in that, and sort of the rough outline that we've sketched of it at this point. And again, this is the first time that we're doing this. And so what this activity becomes and what shape it takes is very much going to be determined by the students who participate. So I'll step aside now, and Isaiah, do you want to go ahead and speak and walk us through your thoughts?
Okay, Daniel.
I can hear you.
Okay, so I can take over. So do you want me to share screen, or it's fine if I read it?
So I think the speaker notes that we put together are fine as a guide just for you. I don't know if those need to be shared with the group. And actually, I think that might make it hard for others to stay on the line with us because of bad connection. So I would suggest that we don't share screen or video and just keep it to audio for now.
Okay, thank you very much. So can I start?
Yes, please. I have no more to say.
Okay, sure. Thank you. So good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are connecting from. I'm Isaiah Osei Jr., a final year Doctor of Optometry student, and also the lead for Afrisnet Research Symposium Subcommittee. So we are here to, the reason why we are here is to discuss the various activities of the subcommittee, as well as the goals and objectives and the direction we want to move the research symposium subcommittee. So we will start with a reminder of the goals of Afrisnet. So we know Afrisnet is an international STEM education nonprofit that seeks to increase Africans' participation in global research. So they seek to help students to acquire research training and also how to put together various compelling statements. So basically,
Isaiah, I think that we've lost you. Do you still have audio? Okay, so if we're still missing Isaiah in about 30 seconds to a minute, I'll go ahead and take over. So everybody just pause for a moment, and we'll continue depending on whether or not Isaiah is able to get audio connection. Hi, Moses. How are you?
I'm very fine. I think you can just kick him off, then he has to rejoin so that he can gain his audio.
I don't know if I want to kick Isaiah off because I'm not sure what the issue is right now. I will send him a message, and let me see. My concern is that sometimes when you kick somebody off, they are disallowed from rejoining. So I wanted to hold off on that.
Okay.
So Isaiah, you have not been muted. Your microphone is still on, so you should be able to speak. But I would ask that everybody else keeps their microphones on mute while we wait for Isaiah. And if not, I will continue with the discussion. Okay, so Isaiah is going to try rejoining. Thank you all for your patience. If Isaiah cannot successfully reconnect, then I will just take it from there. So thank you guys for being patient. I think this is an issue that we're all used to having to deal with. So for those who just joined, we are waiting for the student leader of this event to rejoin. He had some connectivity issues, and we're going to give it just a couple more minutes. Okay, so Isaiah's asked me to continue, so when Isaiah rejoins, he can just interrupt me and let me know that he's back. So let's see. So I think where Isaiah left off was about Afrisnet. So as Isaiah was saying, the goal of Afrisnet is really to try to we are an international STEM education organization, and our goal is to help students in African nations to advance their research careers. And we do that through a couple of different mechanisms. So one of those mechanisms that we use is we focus on professional development skills. And so, for instance, a lot of you have been part of our Getting You into Graduate School webinar series. You may have attended some of our other skills training webinars. And of course, for many of you, we're working with you on your applications to graduate school. So that's one thing that Afrisnet does. And the other thing that we try to do is we try to get students into research activities and to develop research competencies. So we're partnering with universities to facilitate research experiences for undergraduates. We work with students to help them to gain access to research experiences through the Opportunities newsletter. And we also generally just help students to get into research opportunities at their local campuses. So those are the two main things that Afrisnet focuses on. And so historically, as I've mentioned, the way that we've gone about pursuing those professional development and research competency goals is through inviting guest speakers, having training sessions, and providing support to applicants in scholarship, fellowship, and graduate opportunities. Now, what remains is that at this point, one thing that we don't have is we don't really have a forum where students can learn how to write and speak about their research to their peers and to other scientists. And so generally, when Afrisnet starts working with students on their writing skills, it's usually around the time that they've started to apply to graduate school. And that's a little bit too late, right? So a lot of students end up applying to graduate school and they do not have any experience in presenting at a conference and speaking to their peers and fellow scientists. They don't have much experience in writing about their science technically. They may have participated in a research experience, but their ability to talk about that science to others, to present it in a format that makes sense, that is a competency that a lot of our students do not yet have. And that is a skill set that we want to start developing with our students before they start applying to graduate school. So we need some sort of a forum where students can learn how to write and speak about their research to their peers. And so the idea that we've come up with is to create a subcommittee, which will be led by Isaiah, to develop a first ever Afrisnet Research Symposium for which students will receive training on how to write an abstract, how to put together a compelling research presentation, and then how to speak in front of their peers. And this is something that we're going to be working on for the duration of this semester. So the way that the subcommittee is going to work is, I think first I'll start by just saying what we sort of envision this symposium to be. So first of all, because of COVID-19, this symposium is going to be entirely online, which is both a challenge, but also a really nice opportunity where anybody can get involved in this activity. In terms of the subject matters that we will cover, we will see what sort of response we get from yourselves and your fellow academics in the community. So I think what we perceive is that there may be a wide breadth of subject areas depending on student interest, and we intend for all of the speakers to be Afrisnet students. We may be able to have a faculty keynote speaker depending on how large this symposium gets, but this will be driven by and for the Afrisnet students. So this is really an experience for you guys to make for yourselves. Our goal is to have this symposium across 1 or 2 days in January 2021. And more of, I think they're a bit more challenging in certain ways. But we are certainly open to the possibility of having a poster presentation as well as a component of this symposium. So this can be as close to or different from a traditional research conference as we would like. The goal is simply that this suits the needs of the student body. So Isaiah, I see that you're back online. Do you want to take it from here? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Where have you been to?
So why don't you go to point number 7 that we were going to discuss? So essentially what Isaiah is going to be discussing is now, I'm going to hand it over to Isaiah, and he'll talk about the 3 different ways that those of you who are listening in can participate in this research symposium. Isaiah?
Okay, Daniel. So, okay. So, activities of the subcommittee and how each member will benefit. So point 1 is you will get the opportunity to learn, and also you have the opportunity to participate as a speaker, and also it will help you to plan. That's help you identify topics and sections, and also serve as moderator. So the package is like 3 in 1, because if you are engaged in a symposium, there are a lot of things that you will learn along the way. You also get the opportunity to participate and also have the ability opportunity to serve as moderator. And also point 8 is how to run the subcommittee, the dates and the time for meeting. So we have here once every 2 weeks, we hope to meet. And also the first meeting will be educational on how to write an abstract. We know abstract is an essential component of every research. So it's like it gives a gist, or like I won't call it summary, but it's kind of, it's like a gateway to your research paper or the research that you've conducted. And having a good abstract will determine whether your paper will be accepted or not. So it's good that through this research symposium, you will get the opportunity to build this skill set. And also, once the abstract is written, the abstract can be submitted, and we will evaluate and also assist you if the committee feels that there is something that needs to be done in order to improve the abstract prior to the presentation. And also additional training will be given on how to present. So now Afrisnet will assist students to put together a compelling abstract, and now how your ability to deliver is one thing that is also different, that students will get the opportunity to learn these skill sets through the training that will be given. And also students can join training for their own educational and curiosity, or as a speaker. So what this point basically means is that we are not only limiting the symposium to only students who will be presenting their research or something, but you can decide to satisfy your curiosity by just signing up and attending.
Oh no, I think we might have lost Isaiah again. Isaiah, are you there? Okay. I'm sorry, Isaiah. It looks like we might have lost you.
Impose
Oh,
anything on students. Students are going to take lead in everything that we are going to do. So for instance, if you are a student and you decide to volunteer to do XYZ, and you don't delay, you don't expect a good outcome, because the Afrisnet mentors or the Afrisnet supervisors will just be there to support us, but they will not be doing the core work, because they want us to build an experience and gain ownership in any skill that we learn through this symposium. Then the leadership of the sub.
oh no. Isaiah, you are dropping off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mute you real quick. And I'm going to try to reiterate some of the points that you made because I'm worried that some others might have missed them. So I'm going to mute you real quick, Isaiah, and I'll just try to reiterate. So let me just reiterate some of the points that Isaiah made. And can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, we
Yes,
can hear
Dom.
you.
Hear you.
Okay, great. So I think another way to think about this is those of you who are listening in are probably in two camps. Some of you have engaged in research and some of you have not engaged in research yet. For those of you who have engaged in research, there's a couple of there's a couple of things that you can do to get involved. So for those of you who have not done any research so far, I think what you could get out of participating in this activity is a couple of things. So first off, you can just learn and you can attend the trainings. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to teach you how to write an abstract and how to put together a presentation. Now, the way that a normal conference works is, you'll have a conference that corresponds to a particular scientific society. You will have to write an abstract on the research that you did, and you will send that abstract into the conference. Those who are leading the conference will read over all the abstracts that they have, and then they will determine who gets to give a talk and who gets to give a poster based on the strength and the quality of the abstract that was written. So basically what Afrisnet is going to do is we're going to do all of those activities and we're going to basically build our own conference. And so what we're going to do is we're not just going to drop you into this activity without any sort of training. So what we're going to do is over the next couple of months, we are going to do a few things. First, we're going to hold a session to teach you all how to write an abstract like the kind of abstract that you would submit if you wanted to attend a conference. So everybody's going to learn how to write an abstract about research. Then as a group, we're going to work together to make those abstracts really good. Then a short time later, those abstracts are going to be due for those of you who have research to present. So if you don't have research to present, that's fine. You can still come to these sessions and learn how to write an abstract. So you're going to submit your abstracts. Then we're also going to have another training where we talk about how to give a research talk, how to give a presentation, how to engage with an audience, how to put together PowerPoint slides that make sense and do a good job of illustrating your data. Again, if you don't have any research, you can still join us and you can still learn about how to put together a presentation. But those of you who are selected to give a research talk will need to have this information in order to put your talk together. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be walking all of you through all the steps that go into participating in a conference, and then a subset of you are going to actually be giving talks as part of the research symposium. And again, the breadth of the talks, what topic areas we focus on, how long the talks are. We'll probably keep the talks to 15 minutes, but all of this will be scoped out and determined by your interests and your participation. So if you are somebody who has research that you've done, you can certainly just stick around to learn. You can help us to plan for this event that's going to come up in January. So if you have research, there's no expectation that you have to speak, but you certainly can if you would like to. Alternative things that you could do is to help identify the topics and sessions, identify the speakers by evaluating abstracts, or serving as a moderator for a session. And then you can also, of course, participate. And for those who don't have any research, you can certainly come and learn about how to put together an abstract and give a talk. And you can also help us to plan the symposium. So what Isaiah was saying before is that we're planning to have these meetings once every couple of weeks. We will do the training on abstracts probably 2 weeks from now. And so you guys will learn how to put together an abstract. Then we'll basically have a homework session where you'll go off and put together your abstract and send it back to us. And as a group, we can all discuss some of these abstracts. And then from there, we'll do a training on how to put together a presentation. And we will set due dates for abstracts to be formally submitted if you want to be a part of the research symposium. And then, of course, we will give you training on how to put together a talk. And we do not expect that we will just give you a PowerPoint presentation on how to put together a talk and then just expect you to show up. What we're going to be doing is we will work with you to get your presentation to a place where it is a high quality presentation for your peers. And so ideally, you will leave the conference with a high quality research presentation that you can share with others and have gotten experience writing an abstract and giving a presentation. Or if you don't have any research under your belt quite yet, you'll learn how others have done their research, and you'll learn how to give a talk and how to write an abstract. So as Isaiah was saying, this is all really up to you guys. So this is the first time that we've done something like this. And from my perspective, I'm looking at this not as a very, very large, intimidating event, but rather as a learning activity. So this is basically about acquiring knowledge and then practicing that knowledge and practicing it in front of your peers. And because this is the first time doing this, it can very much be shaped by all of you and by the Afrisnet community in general. So I think, we're happy to take questions at this time from all of you, but that's the broad outline. Is basically what we're trying to do here is to put together a research symposium that gives you guys the space to develop the skills that you need in order to write about and present your research to others. And if this becomes something really large, that's great. If it stays as something kind of small, that's just a good teaching tool and a good practice tool, that's totally fine too. Either way, my goal is to make it so that you guys have something to put on your CV and will be an event that we put together as a team. So Isaiah, are you back with us now? It looks like Isaiah has fallen off. So I think at this point, does anybody have any questions about any of this? Or any thoughts on how this could be made a productive activity?
Yes, hello, Daniel.
Hello.
All right, so I kind of have a question.
Okay.
I know normally for symposiums, I know there's like a particular like list of areas of areas in which individuals can focus their project or their research on. So are we going to be imbibing that kind of culture for this symposium we'll be doing?
Yeah. So I think that this is the first time that we've done this. So I do not know how much buy-in we're going to get from other students in the community. And I do not know what the breadth of topic areas is going to be. So I think that for those of you who want to participate in reading the abstracts that come in and helping to actually put this thing together, one of the challenges is going to be to decide how to put talks and abstracts into buckets, to basically say, this is going to be session 1, this is session 2, this is session 3. It may be the case, suppose that we only get a very small number of talks. Then maybe we have a session that is natural sciences and one that is social sciences. Perhaps we get a wide range of abstracts submitted and talks. Then maybe we have talks on biology, talks on physics, talks on chemistry, talks on engineering. And maybe it gets even more specific from there. Maybe we have a large group of ecologists and a large group of cell biologists. So maybe we split that up. So what I would say is, I think what we will do is we will work with you guys to teach you how to write an abstract. And then we will see who submits abstracts to us and then determine what these sessions are going to be on the basis of the breadth of those abstracts. So at this point, it would just be submitting your abstract to give a talk. And then if your abstract is well written and thoughtful, if you've put in the work, then you'll be able to give a talk as part of one of these sessions, and we will determine which session you go into. I think because this is the first time that we're doing this, there's a lot that we don't know, but that also makes it really exciting. So again, in my mind, this can either be seen as a teaching activity where we're really just practicing knowledge that we've acquired, or it could be something a little bit bigger, and this could become a large event with lots of students presenting their work each year. And what sorts of sessions we have and how broad they are, I think really has to be determined by you guys and by the community and by how much feedback we get. For all I know, maybe only 5 of you will end up submitting an abstract. And if that's all that we get, that's fine by me. I think we're happy to train 5 students to give talks and then just to invite everybody to see those 5 students speak. If we have 30 students, I think we can work around that as well. So I think for now, I think we have to be a little bit vague in terms of what these sessions will be, but know that we will put the talks into sessions that make sense and have, I would say, a level of granularity or specificity that is determined by the breadth of talks that we get. Does that answer your question?
Those. Thank you very much.
Okay. Do we have any other questions?
Hello, Daniel.
Hi, Moses.
Yes, thank you. Perhaps mine is not a question, but a comment. I think I'm really super excited because of this program. Now, coming from Kenya, and absolutely we are all from Africa, perhaps the students, I would say the greatest challenge you have been facing is even when we have symposiums being advanced institutions or even other institutions, perhaps the industry area, so that you can be able to present your work. It becomes a challenge because sometimes our undergraduate research is a bit of low standard in terms of writing. And so I think on my part, it's a very great opportunity because in as much as you said earlier, in as much as perhaps not all of us may be able to write abstracts and be able to present, we are going to come out of this symposium with a lot of skills in that even when you are required to write, to submit your abstract to other organizations, at least it will be a compelling abstract that I believe can be able to earn you an opportunity to present higher institutions. So on my side, I would say it's a great opportunity, and I believe we shall be able to learn a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Moses. And that's exactly the point. So for those of you who are interested in participating, do not be concerned if you do not feel that your work is of an international standard. The whole reason that Afrisnet exists is to help you guys to develop your skills and to prepare you for engaging on that international stage. So if you don't feel like your work is at that level, that's fine. We don't really care about that. The goal of this symposium will be for others to learn a little bit from you and for you to be able to practice developing a skill in presenting to others. So that's all that we're hoping to get from this activity. First and foremost, this is an educational activity. So please keep that in mind. So if you have any research that you want to present, we're going to work with you to make sure that you can put that research into, the best possible talk that you can, so that what you do know and the unique knowledge that you have can be effectively shared. Even if you're doing a project that is not particularly novel, or maybe you feel it's not the most exciting, we will certainly walk you through all the things that you need to do in order to help educate your peers. So, we'll talk about how to give a good introduction, how to walk folks through a method section, how to present your results, how to broaden back out to conclusions and future directions, and how to take questions. And also, of course, to think about how you organize things on a slide to get your message across. So this is a learning activity first and foremost, and it's one that's meant to give you some experience that you can apply when you are doing the really high-level stuff that you will go on to do in graduate school. So I really encourage everybody to participate. Are there any other thoughts or comments? Okay. So for now, so please feel free to speak up in the next few seconds if you have a comment or question. But what I'll say is, we're really happy to have all of you guys join us. And was somebody going to speak up? Or no?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes,
you
might have to speak. It sounds like we have a couple of people.
Yeah, I want to
Okay,
speak.
I'll allow Yakubu talk while I hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Hamza Yakubu from Nigeria. My and happy to these new organizations. Since I graduated, I've been looking for opportunities like this to gain experience in terms of putting on outstanding research, abstract. I'll be very glad to be part of this symposium. Thank you so much.
Great. And what I would also say is, so the Afrisnet, while I'm thinking about it, and then we'll go to the next question. So the Afrisnet distribution list at this point reaches about 600 to 700 students. But we're going to need your help, those of you who are excited about this, to bring in others. So if you have friends or colleagues who you think might want to participate, then you should absolutely try to get them involved. So I'll talk about what the follow-on from this discussion is going to be in a moment. But can we go to the next question?
Just discussed about what I wanted to say. I wanted to ask that after this particular meeting, like, what's the next line of action? That was what I wanted.
Sure. So, unfortunately, I think Isaiah was having connectivity issues, but this is really going to be driven by Isaiah. And what you can expect is that Isaiah will engage with all of you through the Afrisnet education email address. So after this, what's going to happen is we will send out a survey to all of you. We're going to send it out to the entire listserv. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to ask you to select one or more roles that you would like to play in this activity, if any at all. So, the options again are basically, one, I'm just going to sit in and I want to hear how to put together an abstract and how to put together a presentation. I don't want to participate in any other way. I just want to be an audience member basically to all of this. I want to sit in the background. Two, I want to help plan this. So, and this is for anybody, whether or not you have research experience. I want to help plan this. So I want to be somebody who reads the abstracts. I want to help think about what the different sessions should be, and who should be a speaker, and whether or not we need to have a poster session. I'm interested in serving as a moderator, those sorts of things. And then 3, I want to participate. So I'm somebody who has some research in my background, and I would like to be a speaker at this event. I would like to go through the process of submitting an abstract and putting together a research presentation and then speaking in front of my peers. So that's basically what the survey is going to be about. We're going to ask a little bit more information of you, and we're also going to try to figure out what role you want to play. If you do want to present your research, we will have some questions for you to respond to so that we can learn a little bit more about you as a researcher and what your background is. But really the next thing that's coming from this is going to be a survey that will help us to learn a little bit more about you. And then from there, I think in 2 weeks, what we'll do, and I'll ask Isaiah to get this scheduled, is we will have the first meeting. Oh, Isaiah, I see that you're back, so I'll let you speak in just 1 second. But the next thing that we'll do is we will have a training on how to write an abstract. And that should be a pretty brief training, but I think that's the very first thing to do. So be looking out for this survey, and then a couple weeks from now, we'll have a training on how to write an abstract. It should be pretty brief, but from there, we can start going through all the steps that you need to do in order to participate. And again, if you want to speak at the research symposium, we're going to expect that you put together an abstract and that it's one that you've worked hard on. And we're also going to expect that you work with us to put together a really compelling research presentation. We do not want any presentations as part of this event that are not at the high level and quality that we expect from Afrisnet presentations. So this is sort of a commitment like any other, but do expect that there will be a survey going out, and that will initiate all of this. Isaiah, do you have anything to add at this point?
Yeah, so the research symposium committee is basically to help students to acquire most of the skill sets involved in research. So by participating, you get the opportunity to learn. Whether you being a speaker or you not being a speaker, the baseline is you need to commit your time and effort into participating in those activities. And I know at the end, you will learn something and you get some new skills and add to your existing one.
Yeah, and I should also mention we will certainly record the presentation so that you can show others. You could send them out when you're applying to graduate school. So this is certainly something worth participating in, and we're excited to have you. Are there any other questions, either for myself or for Isaiah? Okay, so I think we can go ahead and end the meeting here. As I mentioned, I think what Isaiah is going to do next is work on putting together a survey, and then we will send that survey out to all of you. Please respond and indicate what your level of interest is. Those of you who do indicate that you have research that you would like to present, we will probably reach out to you separately and just touch base with you on that. But yeah, we're really excited. Please let others know that we're doing this. I think one of Isaiah's tasks will probably also be to put together some sort of a flyer that can be shared. Yeah, I think this is really exciting. This is the first of its kind, and we're really glad to have all of you on the line and to help us to shape this activity and make it something really great. So this is the first one that we're doing, and I'm hopeful that it'll be really successful and we can do more in the future. So any final comments from anybody? Okay, well, if not, then thank you all so much, and we will be in touch soon. And you all will be hearing from Isaiah relatively soon. So thank you all so much again, and we'll talk to you momentarily.